standard fence along the US-Mexico border was put there not for humans, but for cows. In the mid to late 1800s, cows started to fall ill and die from what was known as Texas fever, which scientists had discovered was being caused by migration north and south, but they couldn't figure out why.
As the germ theory in the 1880s came to be known that microbes actually spread a disease and germs, scientists realized it was a little tiny tick that, of course, grew as it sucked the blood of these cattle in the southern parts of the United States and in Mexico that were coming north.
These ticks mostly impacted cows in America because cows in Mexico had already been exposed to the ticks at a young age, developing an immunity to the disease that the bugs spread. So, in 1906, the Bureau of Animal Industry, overseen by the USDA, launched an eradication campaign in the US to help eliminate these ticks.
And the USDA, along the border, decided to set up a quarantine station at most ports of entry where a veterinarian would inspect any cows coming from Mexico or any cattle that wandered into Mexico from ranges in, say, South Texas or Southern California. This quarantine process involved dipping cattle in kind of a oil, gasoline type solution to kill these bugs that were all over their bodies. They would dip them twice. And then quarantining them in a field that was tickless or clean for 60 days.
This annoyed Mexican and US ranchers because they had a thriving cross-border cattle trade, and the whole customs process really slowed things down. For example, if a US cow wandered into Mexican territory, ranchers would have to take them to one of the few points of entry which were hundreds of miles apart for their cow to be inspected, dipped, and then quarantined for 2 months.
And they complained to the government and said, we don't want this to be an issue anymore. We want something to at least protect our animals from wandering south. And so in the end, the Bureau of Animal Industry built the first border fence in 1911.
It was a simple 4 or 5 strand barbed wire fence held up with wooden posts. This first fence set the groundwork for the border security apparatus we have today.